mean, I'm confused, man. I mean, I don't know, man. See, he did admit that he did know who so-called Brad Lucas was from the beginning. So you're talking about Reba? Oh no, Queen. Okay. Queen B. Okay. Now I get it. Queen B is the prison queen that Jonathan Schwartz talks about. That Mark had numerous encounters during his incarceration. That's the prison queen. Okay, now I know who you're talking about. The Queen Bee. That's the prison queen. The one Jonathan Schwartz says him and Mark. That's what the one he walks into the hump. That's Queen Bee. Let me see. Let me see if I can find Queen Bee. I think this one. That's Queen Bee right there. That's the queen. That's your Queen Bee right there, right? Wearing all that tight shit. That's Mark's queen right there. That's his queen. That's the one Jonathan Schwartz specifically says that him and Mark were in a monogamous relationship. He paid her, I think, 4 or 5 bags of coffee, a bottle of cocoa butter lotion, and they had a honeymoon night. PP. Man, they do that, man, because it's called forced feminization. It's in order for it to be okay in their minds to make it seem like, hey, I'm not doing nothing wrong. This is a girl. For a perfect example, David Mendenhall, they named him Mindy. They feminized him more. Look at that, wearing them little tights. No, that's Queen Bee. That's the one in a hump. Let me get the scene for you. Right there. I know you can't see Queen. I know you can't see the Queen's face, but Mark can tell from the back who it is. But see, that's just like, well, shit. You never know. Could that be the weightlifter? Because Mark's always talking highly of his boys. Well, the ones he loved. You know, he's always talking bad about Hips. Hips this, Hips that. Hips couldn't walk a mile in Mendenhall's shoes. But then again, Mendenhall was like a little old petite, 100 something pounds, 5 foot something. Hips was 6 foot, 100 plus pounds. So I think Hips looked a little bit more manlier, like, you know. No, the first time, according to Mark, his first encounter was with some guy named JD. Man, what if JG turned him out? And they just kept it down low. Because he says his first encounter was with some guy named JD. What if he just switched the D to from a Jerry Gaskins to a Jerry Doe? And this is Honey Bun, William Burnett. And you know that face that Youngblood says that these guys, man, they have that creepy look on their face. Fleece has that creepy look. Mark has that creepy look. And there goes old Honey Bun. Well, Youngblood, of course, Youngblood acknowledges Honey Bee and Honey Bun. He was there. That's what I don't understand. Why are y'all worried about this Bobby Burke? If Youngblood done told you he was there, he knows Reba, he knows Honey Bun, he knows Mark, he knows Hibbs, he knows JD, he knows other characters that were on the panel. So why are we trying to include Bobby Burke? Youngblood done said all this. He knows Honey Bun. He knows Honey Bee. He knows Mark. You like Youngblood. Yes, he acknowledged, just like he acknowledged Mark was in there taking cheeks. Mark, since the beginning, did never acknowledge Honey Bun or Honey Bee. But now Youngblood comes down and says, "Hey man, yeah, that's Honey Bee and Honey Bun." And there goes Mark. Yeah, I seen Youngblood with Honey Bee and come on. But you had all this time to come forward and say, "Hey, that's Honey Bun. That's Honey Bee." It's just, the credibility, you start losing credibility right then and there. Well, if you knew this 3-4 months ago, why did it take you so long to come out? Why did you wait for Youngblood to come out and say, "Hey, that's Honey Bun"? But why you need a witness if Mark don't witness everything? You got a witness right there. Mark's your witness. Didn't he say that? Oh, I seen Hips get penetrated by without force. Mark's always watching. Like I said it before, man. I would hate to do a crime with Mark because Mark's always watching. Even though he's the main participant, I guarantee you in that interrogation room, he's eating a Big Mac because he's going to spill the beans on you. It wasn't me, man. It was him. I was just watching. He told me, don't talk. Who said don't talk about Honeybee? Yeah, Youngblood's a witness. He was there. That's how we were able to verify who this William Burnett, right? How many times did we ask Mark? I don't understand where you're trying to get at. Youngblood was at Limestone. He knows all these characters that are at play. I don't know. I don't know what Bobby Burke is. I mean, since you know what Bobby Burke is, I mean, what is he? What is Bobby Burke? I don't know. Since you got messages saying Bobby Burke ain't blood. Youngblood told me don't talk. When did Youngblood tell you not to talk about Honey Bun or Honey Bee? See, I kind of found uh y'all y'all tell me if this looks like his relative. As far as the zoo, I've been able to. As far as the William Burnett, does this guy have any kind of resemblance? Does that guy have the resemblance to Honey Bun? Does that guy look like a relative of Honey Bun? A nephew, a brother, cousin, nephew, grandson? Yeah, see, that's the thing, and that's the only thing that's working to Mark's advantage. That a lot of these guys don't want to come out, man. Let's be realistic. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of these guys don't want to come out, man. A lot of these guys probably moved on. They don't want to be shamed. You know, regardless, even through those guys are a victim, they don't want to go through what's called victim shaming. Make them guys feel lesser of what they consider a man because of what they went through. You know, especially with that stigma of carrying it around you, they're going to be looking, oh man, that guy's probably part of the community now. Not knowing that, hey, it was against their will. You know, they didn't ask for it. So a lot of these guys, they're probably afraid of being shamed. They don't want to come out and say, hey, you know what, man? I was in there doing this and doing that. I mean, I don't think anybody would. Unless they seen the guy and they lit some kind of fire under them and said, hey, you know what, man, that guy's over there saying this, you know, I know I can get him back locked up if I go in there and speak my mind. But, you know, a lot of these guys probably don't want to do all that. What is it? Duck Nuke. What is Duck Nukem? Let me see. It's pretty, bro. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not part of that community. You know what I mean? I don't. I mean, I don't support that community or encourage that type of community or that lifestyle. But you know, I'm not. I'm not going to bash them or say, you know what? How are you going to say? Go out and I guess you know, use my words wisely. I guess you know, cause them any harm or wish them any harm. You know, I can respect everybody's lifestyle. You know, as long as they're not pushing it upon me or pushing it up upon my kid, where they're out in the open. You know, I don't care. You know, their their lifestyles don't bother me. But how am I defending somebody I don't know? You're telling me like how am I defending somebody I don't know? I'm telling you that they're irrelevant. I didn't go searching for Bobby Berg, Ashley Berg. I don't know who they are. Man, that guy Fish, the Fish memoirs. It's I'll be watching some of his stuff. Well, it's kind of old, but if you read it, man, it's kind of it's the same thing with Mendenhall. You know, after 20 years of being a boy, the possibility of you still being a boy when you come out into the free world is highly there. Because if you come out a knucklehead, you were there 20 years being a knucklehead, you're gonna come out being a knucklehead. You didn't learn shit. And then you're gonna go right back. But just imagine being told what to do for 20 years, not only by the guards, but by the inmates themselves. That's the true definition of broken, man. Like how after 20 years are you gonna switch up your identity? For fucking 20 years, you've been a boy, a feminized boy. So how are you gonna be able to switch at the drop of a hat? 20 years. I mean, you can come out here and portray yourself, you know, get married, find you a female, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be considered what they call them down low freaks, right? Youngblood was at Limestone. How is that fake? Youngblood was at Limestone. He knows the players. That's all y'all got. That's all y'all. That's only y'all's argument. But if you go watch my interviews, that interview where Hips and Dante and Mark are on the live, Mark's looking for Dante's lifeline is find David Mendenhall. Find David Mendenhall. You got them interviews with David Mendenhall? You got them interviews? Yeah, I got them interviews lined up already. Knowing damn well Mendenhall had passed. Y'all were trying to add credibility to a man that was doing heinous stuff. Y'all were trying to do paranormal activity. Y'all were trying to rise people from the dead to speak good on this man. Y'all brought a fake Betty the Cook that brought comical scenarios, calling Mark a Donatello. I'm gonna play that here in a little bit. Calling Mark a Donatello, walking around with his wooden shaft. That if you didn't comply to his orders, he was gonna Donatello you with his wooden shaft. What was he cooking? What 5-course or gourmet meals was Betty the Cook cooking? With the only things that Mark and even Youngblood said. But see, Mark wants to validate certain things of what Youngblood says. What can they cook? All they got is ramen noodles. What is he cooking? I've never defended. I don't know who Bobby Burke is. Y'all keep on like trying to catch me in the lie. Y'all ain't gonna catch me in the like. I don't know Bobby Burke. Y'all are the ones that are bringing this Bobby Burke. I brought Youngblood. Youngblood was at Limestone. So Youngblood wasn't at Limestone. Was Youngblood at Limestone? Yes or no? Just answer that question. Was Youngblood at Limestone? Yes or no? That's all I want to know. Was Youngblood at Limestone? So it doesn't take a fact that Youngblood knows what's going on. Y'all try to rise the dead. Ain't no telling how many other interviews y'all would have had lined up trying to clean up this guy's image. Oh, Mark wasn't doing that. Mark's a hell of a character. He's a protector. He's a big old teddy bear. No, so no. That's what Dante said. Dante said Mark had a Betty the Cook. Right? He brought out Betty the Cook to try to portray Mark as some sexual freak, but not a predator. Right? Just y'all. Who is Bobby Berg? I'm over here talking about Youngblood and Mendenhall. Nah, man, hips. You can't call Hips a liar, bro. You know, Hips stood 10. He said what he had to say, and he dipped. But you see, Hips knows Youngblood. And since Mark doesn't want to make himself guilty by admitting that him and Hips were in their tag teaming duo and doing what they can, what a coincidence. Hips takes off once Youngblood hits the scene. Why is that? I still got in contact with him, but Hips, he in reality, he's still struggling with his demons, and he's still he caught that other case, driving under the influence. So, and he was still on probation 6 months for that receiving of property. So right now, it's sad to say that at 50 plus years old, that man's still struggling. He's still going in and out. I don't know how they do it in Alabama, but in Texas, they file these things called paragraphs on you, where they can enhance priors on you, and a simple felony. Fuck, that simple felony that would be a simple felony for somebody else gets enhanced to you, and now you're facing 5 to 10 on a fucking state jail felony. Yeah, he would, man. But it's kind of hard to throw. It's kind of hard to call. It's kind of hard to call the kettle black. When you're basically doing the same shit. Mark and Hips They're a part of a family, man. And for me to sit here and try to say, oh, Hips wasn't indulging, Hips wasn't doing none of that shit, hey, I'd be a liar, man. Because my first interview that I did with Hips, I asked that man, I said, man, you don't suffer from any kind of trauma, any kind of PTSD, any kind of, psychological issues. And he admitted, Hips admitted, he goes, look, man, I can't keep a girl no longer than a few months because I'm always trying to backdoor them. So once he made those statements, I said, oh man, this guy's locked up for 30 plus years. Of course he was indulging. Of course. I don't know who Bobby Burke is. I brought I, Youngblood reached out to me and I put him on the platform. That's straight fruit cup, man. Just look at Mark's mannerisms when he's talking, his lip smacking, his neck twisting. If that guy had dirty dreads, I can see him snapping his dirty dreads back and snapping his neck. Female tendencies, mannerisms. Nah, I can replay. Warden Wise called Hips an old convict. He never said Hips was a boy. He called Mendenhall a straight boy. I know Hips. Man, do I have to put the message up there where Hips sent me and said that Mark, he knows what Mark is because I guess they, at one point or another, him and Hips and Marks were 69ing each other. They both were having each other's meats in each other's mouths. No, I got text messages from Hips saying that him and Mark was swap. It got to come to, we got to make the common conclusion that Mark and Hips were tag teaming each other, man. Yeah, you can't just always just be watching. No, you want to hear a confession? Right now, I'm gonna play a confession. Mark says, look, I did this documentary because it was basically like a confession. I had to basically tell somebody of all the sexual deviancy I was doing. And this documentary was like Usher. These are my confessions. You can hear Mark, these are his confessions. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I'm going based off the documentary. Based off first hand knowledge. Hips was there, right? Youngblood was there. Other people that's been on y'all's panel and that has been in contact with Mark that did a video in the last couple of days. Youngblood was at Limestone. See, y'all can't pick and choose, man. Youngblood was at Limestone. Youngblood knows word and wise. So that tells you what type of character. You think Ward and Wise is going to hang around with the character like Mark? You think Ward and Wise wants friendship with Mark? So if Youngblood and Ward and Wise have a friendship or they're cordial with each other, man, that tells you the character of Youngblood. If a man like Ward and Wise would consider you or would even hold any kind of conversation with the next inmate, then he must respect that inmate at a high status value, right? Now, ask Mark to send Ward and Wise a friendship request. I want to see if Ward and Wise will accept him. Because y'all trying to discredit Youngblood, but Youngblood brought Ward and Wise. So that tells you the nature of his characteristic, the status of what Youngblood carries. He ain't lying about nobody else. Youngblood ain't lying about nobody else. Youngblood came out. Mark had all this time to say, this guy right here, William Burnett, was Honey Bun. Well, shit, do you? How would you? Ward and Wise is the head count. He really wouldn't have any interaction with the inmates. That's why you have sergeants, lieutenants, majors, captains to deal with all of the day hand policy of the prison. Mark has no status in prison. Of course, Ward and Wise, the wardens are going to have value to the people that hold high status in the prisons, right? People that can move and stop and shake stuff, right? The movers. So that should tell you the status of Youngblood. Right? And thank you, Duke Nukem. The wardens only pay attention to people of high value and high status, right? They're going to only acknowledge people of high status, the leaders of the organizations. If Mark was a real Damu, I'm pretty sure Ward and Wise would have remembered him because he would have had to talk to him at one point or another to quell something down. Say, I know you're the head of the Damus. I need you to calm your people down. But Mark a peon, he a booty bandit. You heard what Youngblood said. 85% of Limestone was booty bandits. So why would Ward and Wise want to have any kind of interaction with this guy that's a dime a dozen? Thank you, Duke Nukem. Well, he knew Mendenhall because Mendenhall was a shit stirrer. You know how many bodies could have been avoided over Mendenhall? How many guys have lost their lives out here on the free world for a female because they steer stuff up amongst the guys? Mendenhall was the same way. So once again, Ward and Wise is going to know the players. What's going on, God Soldier? And we keeping it pretty brown. I don't know, man. Just hanging out, interaction. Having a good old time. What's wrong with it? I mean, there's a lot of people doing content every day. What's wrong with it? So I stop if somebody else picks up. No, I stop when I pass away, and then y'all can pick it up. But for now, I'm going to be the front of the Mark Moore saga. And I know it's killing Dante because he can't control the narrative. It's killing him. It's like that little thorn. It is all fun and game. No, it's not, man. No, it's too easy. But we got to, man. It's bringing awareness, man. You know, it's like that documentary Dare. You know, you got to watch it to prevent, man. No, I don't care. See, no, it's not. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. To me, it's entertainment. I don't know about y'all, but I like it. You know, I like it. You know, now that we got all this, trying to mix the street politics into the YouTube world, uh, I'm happy. It's fun and games. You know, I get to express my opinion. No, man, I don't watch it every day. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. If you wanted it, you know, I've been on basic rotation. If you want medium or heavy rotation, I can put it heavy rotation. You know, I've been kind of slacking off and just letting it play by ear. But if you're asking for heavy rotation, we can put it on heavy rotation. We can listen to the Jonathan Schwartz interview, the documentary Peter Riley. No, there's nothing new. I don't feel like it. What is it about? What is it about? Nah, man, it's just too easy for me. You know, I can just copy and paste. I don't feel like going editing and doing all that. You know what I mean? I'm once again, if y'all are under the impression that I consider myself or my goal is to become a content creator or my goal is to get a plaque or a button, y'all are really confused. Well, you say 30. See, you say certain things when you're riled up, right? And you say anything that's more how can you say not menacing, not how can you say it? It's almost like demoralizing them. Like it's words. You should be able to hold your if I say a few words, you shouldn't be feeling some type of way. What new evidence? Yes, Dante. Who cares? Oh man, there's a lot of people that care of what happens to the white man in prison. A lot, a lot. If you start thinking about what happens, you start looking at stuff like that. Then you start questioning what happens to the white man. Just imagine a sadistic freak like Mark getting a hold of somebody like that. Just imagine. Just imagine a sadistic freak getting somebody's loved one like that. You think he's interested in them zuzus and wham whams? Nah, Mark's interested in that dirty Hershey bar. That that Milky Way of forbidden love. That's what he's into. He's not into that zuzus and wham whams. He wants that forbidden Hershey. See, Dante's so mad. He wants to control the narrative. They don't have nothing. Nothing but fake AI videos. That's it. You should have kept some ammo. You should have kept some ammo and saved it up. But apparently you don't know how to manage. That you put a switch in it. Instead of doing a Henry Wade single shot. Oh yeah. See, you gotta understand what an old warden convict is. An old ward convict is that you as a man got yourself in this prison. You should be able to hold yourself as a man. Now, if somebody wants your cakes, defend yourself. I'm not going to write you up. Basically. And anybody that's a man, shit, I would rather have that worded. Instead of you taking care of business and the warden giving you a free will case. So that's the difference between a warden convict and a warden at this time. That's coming next, man. That's coming next. You see, I haven't tapped into all the audiences, man. The genres. From a knowledgeable point, the booty bandit genre, I'm like a -1. Booty bandit genre is not my expertise. Young blood is young blood. See, that's the thing. Everybody wants to hold me accountable, but nobody wants to hold Dante accountable when they were bringing up Parano. I brought somebody that was actually there. Young blood was actually there. Right or wrong? Young blood was there. Okay. Now, was this fake Mendahar there? Was this fake Betty the cook there? No. All they were trying to do was manipulate the audience. Young blood came with substance and value. He came with word and wise. That tells you he was at Limestone. What's going on, RG6? So I don't get it. It's like Dante is in the background trying to manipulate, instigate. Dante, Duke Nukem, you're unblocked. I unblocked you on June 5th, so you can come on here on your regular account. I'm not gonna see once again, Dante. You're not gonna get me with your reverse psychology. You came on here, you doubled down on why you said you're a racist, and I guess you wanted me to double down and say, yeah, I'm a racist too. You're right, but see, I'm not. So take your little tactics and work them on yourself or on your, you probably have a high success because they probably work on kids. And characters like June, Mark, fucking Big Noonie, even Noonie, all them fucking characters. No, hell no. Bro, as long as Mark's on YouTube, my lane is open. As long as Mark, he is the content. Do you know how many? Dante made a video called Mark's Funniest Moments. Here in a little bit, I'm going to go in there and sit back and do a video called Mark's Sickest Moments, where he personally talks about going on missions, gunning folks, gunning guards, him and his Crip gunslingers, his weightlifter, the shitter box. It's going to be a compilation of Mark's sickest moments. You know, I don't got to make no AI videos, man. I always said it. It's always better to hear from the horse's mouth. You know, when these guys were making allegations about me, accusations, I owned up to it and I said, look, it's better for y'all to hear from the horse's mouth. It's always better to hear from the horse's mouth, man. Just like how we heard Mark and we heard Dante with his racist tactics, his tantrum, his meltdown. He had a serious meltdown. I'm glad I ain't never got to that point. He basically confessed to all my shit is fake. All my stories are stolen or made up. I don't care what happens to, and if you look at I judge people off their character, man. I don't care if you're purple, green, different lifestyle than me. But I judge you on your first impression, on how you approach me. I could care less if you're, like Just Jay. I'm secured in my manner to be like, hey, he wants to join the panel. He's coming on cordial, not disrespectful. He posted a picture of him, of how he feels. Now it wasn't no pride flag or anything like that, like promoting it. Hey, that's who he is. How does Youngblood be lying? Like, how does Youngblood be lying? Mark had plenty of time to say, hey, that William Burnett is Honey Bun. So y'all pick and choose what y'all want to use from Youngblood statements. No, but can we at least agree that Youngblood was there at the time of the limestone? He knows the players. Can we at least agree on that? No, can we at least agree on that? That Youngblood was there. I'll get okay. Y'all want to do a boxing match? I'll get one of my homeboys, and we'll go based off the weight. And y'all want to do that? They got other things going on. They would rather talk. Oh well, shit. One man, why one man's enough. He's enough content. He's enough. Why go out there look for different? I mean, he's look at the stuff that he's doing. That that picture right there. You look at that picture, and you look at that picture, and that picture now it doesn't leave you curious. You're not curious. You don't. You're not. You don't want to know what's going on. What type of movie is this, or what's going on here? How does this look? I mean, you're not curious. You don't want to know more. You look at this picture and you're like, what's happening here? The position that they're in, it's like, hey, I get my wife like that. So I'm thinking, well, what's is this picture being blown out of context or what is it? So you can't get mad at people when people are questioning, man, what was Mark doing in there? And then you hear the statements, 2 handfuls, grease them up. I laid them down. He went to the shitter box, cleaned himself up. But how? And then you want to question me, man. You know what's favorite? My favorite part is the Thomas Harris. The Thomas Harris is my favorite part because it shows the world the brutality and the brokenness of what a man is going through the hands of Mark. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part right there. The Thomas Harris, that paints a vivid picture. And I wonder if even Thomas Harris, if I was a betting man, I say he's no longer here. Mark was in there, self-admission. Self-admission. You play that documentary in any court of law to try to defend yourself, good luck. Good luck. That's a confession. And like towards the end of the documentary, he goes, it's my confession. I had to tell these, come on, man. That's the only play, Dante. Youngblood has not been paid a dime. Youngblood reached out because, like I said, Youngblood was there, right? Can we agree that Youngblood was there? How you doing, V? Nice to have a female finally arrive to the scene because you got pretty and that's pretty. That's Dante. If it's not Dante, it's probably forensics. Oh, I don't want to say her name because by me saying her name one time, that's going to be enough. She's going to come in. How did I tell him myself? Like, tell him myself, like, yeah, all his minions. But y'all can have what did y'all have? Y'all had like 20, 30 people at one time. Now y'all down to the last stragglers. Y'all's last stragglers. And y'all's only in it because y'all think y'all gonna get something out of it. Mark ain't gonna grow, man. I did my job and I'm gonna continue doing it. I don't care about growth on YouTube. As long as Mark continues to be exposed, people are gonna know the truth. And it's gonna be up to the people. It's gonna be up to the people. I don't have to sit here and persuade the people of not watching people. Don't go, they're fake. No, let the people already know, man. You lost ebook. Ebook was one of your loyal supporters. Ebook was one of your fucking. I had a banned fucking ebook, man. Ebook was fucking like I even said it. Ebook was like a fucking demon to me. He kept on attacking and attacking and attacking and attacking and fucking. I had to block him so many times. I give ebook that, man, that he stood down for you. But then once he realized that you were a phony, he came back to the state. But ebook was your boy. I could go back to my lives where ebook was just clowning me. But he realized who the way you are. How was Youngblood a phony? Youngblood was at Limestone. Youngblood was at Limestone. You can't take that. You can't take the fact away that Youngblood was at Limestone. Go play your live over there. Don't you got a channel? Play your live over there. Over here, my channel is about exposing Mark Moore. That's for your. I'm not here to convince you. You know that saying. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. All I'm doing is presenting the facts. Now it's up to you, a person of sound mind, to make your own conclusion. That's it. That's all you have to do. What's going on, Tejas? Oh yeah, we do. Cause isn't this what you call the kangaroo court? Isn't it? Isn't well the state's evidence is going to be playing the same evidence over and over. Chilling, Tejas, just right here, man. Continue to put pressure on these smut guys. No, the horse is still alive, and he's still on YouTube, so he's still going. No, we're just picking off where y'all left off, man. Y'all gave up. Your main lawyer for the case backed off. Now I had to tell you something. The case is weak, right? Nope. How is the documentary weak? Okay, thank you. Thank you for admitting that he was there. Nobody has paperwork. Nobody's going to provide paperwork. Nobody. Ain't nobody going to provide paperwork. Where's the paper? Where's Mark's paperwork? Ain't nobody going to provide paperwork. Paperwork out the question. That's nonsense. No. Every day I play it, a new set of eyes and a new set of ears get to watch it. I done told you, man. It's like the street preacher, the corner preacher. The residents of that neighborhood see him every day. They tired of it. But the preacher don't care. He continues because he knows there's going to be a new set of eyes and a new set of ears every day walking through. Once again, I'm not worried about my channel growing. Well, then you're going to watch it here in a little bit because that's what we do over here. Y'all can believe with everything y'all want, but it doesn't take the fact that Youngblood was at Limestone. I don't know if Bobby Worker was at Limestone. Youngblood was at Limestone. Hey, that's his own doing, man. I know if I got skeletons in my closet, I'm not gonna be on here bragging about it. But I'm not concerned about Bobby Burke. What is Bobby Burke? What is Bobby Burke got to do with it? Why are you so fascinated with this Bobby Burke? What does Bobby Burke got to do with anything? What's your fascination with this Bobby? What is Bobby Burke going to prove? What's your smoking gun? What is your smoking gun? Because Youngblood done said what he had to say. I don't know. I can't tell you that. I know Youngblood. Why is Youngblood and Warden Wise liars? There ain't no. I don't know if he ain't no. I mean, from what I know, Bloods don't be doing that type of shit. I don't know. So I don't think I don't think Youngblood's the only one that don't think Mark's the blood. I haven't seen his face. And what's wrong? Ain't no foundation crumbling. What's crumbling? What's crumbling? What's crumbling? How? Ain't nothing crumbling. The only one that's crumbling is the one that backed away and left June 5th right here trying to manipulate. They have nothing. What do they have? What is the argument? What is the argument? What is they have one argument. No argument at all. It doesn't take the fact that Youngblood knows these players. Youngblood ain't a liar. Hips ain't a liar. Mark, everybody, Jonathan Schwartz a liar. You're getting everything ready. Give me a minute. Can y'all hear me? Let me see. Okay. Because they're under the impression I don't know who Bobby Burke is. Y'all can go watch it over there. We don't. I don't. It's right there. I'm not gonna watch his lives over here. Y'all are more welcome to watch his lives on this channel. I don't. Y'all keep on saying Bobby Burke. Bobby Burke. Ain't no ain't nobody lying. How is it all made up lies? How is it all made up lies? Tell me what lies? What lies? Why am I subscribed to? I'm not subscribed to no Bobby Burke. If that's the way you feel, I can't stop you from feeling that way. Just like the way you think I'm Blue Blanco, I can't stop you from thinking that. That's your right. Right? You can feel and think any kind of way you want. I don't have to sit here and try to explain myself to you. You just got to sit back and enjoy and watch the show. That's it. Just sit back and watch the show. That's it. That's all you got to do. And you just listen to a Mark. What's going on, hometown? They just got to sit back and listen.
First boy was JD. We were together for approximately 2 years before he went home on parole. Uh, During those 2 years, we developed great feelings for one another. You know, he was like my shadow. Everywhere you seen me, you seen him. You know, we were best friends. It wasn't the relationship wasn't based on sex. You know, me fucking him in his ass. It was more than that. You know what I'm saying? I cared deeply about him. I woke up. First thing I wanted to see was him. Before I went to bed at night, the last thing I wanted to see was him. I was in love with him.
The game is in the penitentiary a set of rules dealing with homosexual activity. You know, you got what you call boys and sissies. Uh, then you got your man. Uh, so, I was looked at to be turned out, you know, what they call fresh meat. I ended up going to down to a room to smoke a joint. We was on the chain gang, 16 dorm at that time.
Mark was a prison pimp, the daddy.
We ended up doing some other things, and that's what brought me in.
Participated in grooming.
Once you start something in here, you don't change it.
Forceful prison rape, and there you have it.
They don't too easily let you do that.
Brought up the warden that the prison.
Once you're one way,
I let it happen because it keeps the inmates calm. That's exactly what David Wise, that was the warden at the time, that was his response to it, which I was shocked that he admitted it in your documentary. I don't know if you remember.
Again, exploiter of the time and labor of his victims. I also believe he was genuinely protective and had many aspects of his personality that were quite healthy and wonderful. And that's what made the film so powerful. It was his character more than anyone else's, because he's got this dissonance, this dichotomy between good and evil. And but back in the day, whether or not he exaggerated and embellished and had a good time telling these freaky tales, which is a major pastime in prison, where people, so he can claim to have exaggerated or distorted, but probably not by much. Not by much.
I know you said something about he had some good parenting instincts. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because it also talked about the boo game, and there was these innocent guys that they would purposely get in debt. And again,
Right. So
See, the only thing they got right now is try to create all of these accounts right here and try to manipulate the situation. Youngblood was at Limestone. Youngblood seen what he seen. He heard what he heard. And that's it. Youngblood never persuaded me from my judgment. Me watching the documentary, listening from the horse's mouth, listening to Jonathan Schwartz. That's all you need to hear. That's where I based off my conclusion, off my own common sense, not off what Youngblood said or Dante or anybody else said. My mind was already made up from the evidence that's been at hand. There's no coming back from this documentary. So y'all sit back and watch the show.
And renew the right spirit in me.
Alabama spends the lowest amount of money feeding inmates than any other state in the Southeast. Mississippi, Florida, Tennessee, Georgia.
Y'all just sit back and watch the show.
73 cents.
Put y'all's comments in the section.
73 cents, you're not going to get a good.
Express your opinion. Everything's welcome.
This is a world within a world. You got everything under the sun. You got homosexuality, run rampant. You've got gambling. You've got gangs. You got everything. You know.
Sit back and watch it, because you got to hear it from the horse's mouth. Make it pure. Let everybody make their own conclusion.
My righteous dog. He's like the older brother that I never had. I got unconditional love for him, not just because we both bloods, but because he's always been real to me. You know, we've had our ups and downs and differences and problems, but we love one another. Seriously.
We was real close.
We passed that fake documentary, man.
We just talk, we share our problems, you know what I'm saying?
We passed.
Share boys and mainly he looked up to me, you know what I'm saying? To me, I was like his role model, the person he wanted to be like, you know what I'm saying? Everything that I done, he wanted to do, like my little brother.
Shout out to C now.
The hustling part is because people don't have any money. And, you know, there's no way.
Is that Honey Bee or Honey Bud?
That's how the game works. I ain't got no means of money. I got a box full of candy back there. Cookies, zuzus, and wham-whams is what they call it. I'm going to loan it to another inmate. I'll let you get a pack of cookies for 2 packs back next week. If a man borrows too much stuff, it gets too far in debt. Either you fight for it and let him know, I'm not going to pay you, so me and you just going to have to whoop each other's ass and we're going to go to lockup. or we're gonna go back here and fuck, just ever how you want to do it. That's the way it works. He might have borrowed 10 suits and ended up fucking out his ass the rest of his.
And I'm sure that Mark has come a long way and now into a whole new chapter of his life. But back then, as a younger man, I do in my heart and my instincts and my journalistic and intellectual expertise think that he was a major rapist, sodomist, and in essence, exploiter of the time and labor of his victims. I also believe he was genuinely.
You hear it right there. Now that we can hear Jonathan Schwartz, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna find everything Mark says. We're gonna go over here where he talks about his confessions.
Used to come home, and
where he talks about his confessions of what he did.
Who it is?
Let me put it on. Y'all listen to his confessions.
Hi, Mary. You okay?
Right now, at this moment, I'm trying to get myself back together, right? That's why I felt as if it was important to confess and talk about my past.
You see, in a court of law, a judge hears all these statements as guilty as a fuck. You don't need other witnesses. The judge, prosecution, if this gets played, if anybody was to take this to Marks County or wherever he lives at and tell the district attorney or the detectives there and be like, hey, there's a possible crime that could have happened. You got this guy clearly stating he fucked up these people's lives. You know, I haven't made it a mission, but I guess they want to continue. I'm going to have to go find Brad Lucas. I'm going to have to go find him. That's going to be my next goal.
Real hard.
It's finding Brad Lucas.
Some of them make them true.
I couldn't accept that. So I seen
doing so bad. He was with all. It was, you know what I'm saying. Remember him from then. He was real hard.
I tell him to turn around. So he turns, he moves slightly. I tell him to turn around again. He still doesn't want to.
Your wife doesn't mean the jurisdiction, dummy.
If I have to tell you to turn around one more time, I'll break your jaw.
That has to be shown to the Alabama Department of Corrections.
He make him come out.
There has to be a petition signed.
Coming out his clothes, so he slap him again. So
there has to be a movement.
He gonna come up out his
for Brad Lucas
on him.
And all his other victims.
Squeeze his ass cheeks. 2 handfuls.
Look at the shit that he was doing to Brad Lucas.
He tenses up, you know. So I started to pull his shirt off of him. I give him the grease. I tell him to put some on his finger, stick it in his ass, and you know what I'm saying, kind of like fuck himself, to loosen himself up, because I know he had never been penetrated before. It was his first time. And also, you know what I'm saying, just an old penitentiary trick that I learned from some old convicts. If he screamed rape, You know what I'm saying? He had grease under his fingernail. So he greased his own self up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna basically lie and tell him I've been fucking him. He's been my boy. Hell, they gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to the extreme and get 4 or 5 other guys that lie and say I've been fucking him too, been taking care of him. He's been my boy. So I get the grease. I grease my penis up. You know what I'm saying? So I lay him down on the bunk, flat on his stomach. So I'm playing, rubbing his ass, you know what I'm saying? Squeezing his ass cheeks, rub my fingers up and down his back, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk him through it, tell him to relax, you know what I'm saying? He's still pleading, begging me. You know,
The
like
victim has to be found, man. Once I find Brad Lucas, you know, what you don't understand is that people like myself and yourself, we go based off these internet apps. But a real private detective can find Bradley Lucas. Okay? Noel just said it, Blue Blanco. What? Like, you're fucking idiot, dude. If you're so confident that I'm Blue Blanco, drop a bag. We can meet up at a mediator, and you can pay the mediation afterwards. If you're so confident, drop a bag. Money. You don't make no money. This is for therapeutical and to expose. You know, because I guess people are still under the persona that Mark wasn't doing these deviant stuff. So you have to keep on putting pressure on it. Keep on. It's always better to hear it from the horse's mouth. This guy's walking you through play by play on what he did to this guy, Brad. Okay? He's walking you play by play.
To hear any of that. You know what I'm saying? I had made up my mind. So I go to fucking him. You know what I'm saying? Slowly at first, you know what I'm saying, to try to loosen him up. So he's groaning.
You're right, man. I'm broke.
You know what I'm saying? Moaning and telling me how it hurts. So, you know, I bag out a little bit. Just tell him to relax, breathe, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking him. At this time, my partner, my dog, he at the door. You know what I'm saying? He's standing in front of the cell. So he's like, man, come on, man. Goddamn. Go on, hurry up, man. I want to get straight too. I said, well, come on. I get up off of him. He greased himself up.
You know
he
it.
shows him no mercy.
Shalom.
He fucks him for real. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell him, hold up, man. You know, slow down, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt him for real. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go to the hospital, and you know what I'm saying? He's gonna automatically have to say what happened. You know what I'm saying? So
he have sex with him first. Then I
But
have
see,
sex with him. Then he have sex with him. I have sex.
this is why you can't trust people like June 5th. Because on the other video where he was clowning on Mark, they were like, oh no, we can't do that. Dante was like, oh, we can't hang around. When they put the example of Mark having gay friends, they were trying to clown Mark. Oh, we don't have gay friends. But now, according to June, I have gay people. I don't get these guys that they like to contradict themselves. But y'all just sit back and enjoy the show.
With him. Then he have sex with him. And then that was the end of it.
after this, you know, he finishes, whatever. I'm saying. So boy gets on the shit jacket. You know what I'm saying? Use the restroom.
Can you imagine the situation right there? That guy got his intestines pushed in by Mark and JG. And there's a possibility that Mark could have been a victim. That's why he let JG get into action. JG was the real predator in that environment. He was the real alpha. He was the big brother. Everybody knows, hey, we're going to do what big brother says. And that's what Mark was doing. Looking up to his big brother. Letting his big bro get right first. After that dude defecated, can you imagine the stint? The scent? The scent of defecation? I don't know. I'm speaking from a man's perspective, right? And as a man, we've all had that one time where that female's just stunk, right? And it's a turnoff. And that's a turnoff for a man. You know, when you're about to get intimate with the female, and you get that pungent odor, that's a turnoff. I've you know, I've had to act like, hey, I'm getting a phone call and hop out the situation. I couldn't proceed. Even through, it was even worse because I was intoxicated. I got that smell and I was about to start gagging. So I can just imagine the smell of defecation and how that would arouse you to go in. If that ain't wild, man, like, and this stuff, you can't say that I'm making it up. Like, oh, I'm speaking for Mark. It's just some wild stuff. Look at this guy. So that's why you beat her up. Nah, man, I don't beat him up. You know, it's in Texas when the cops get called, somebody's going to jail. So usually, if you have a record, bye. Oh, it is. You know how this is therapeutical for me? Because all these comments, I don't care what you got. It doesn't bother me. Enjoy the show, man. Let's get back to the show.
So I fucking, he, cleaned himself up. He's back on the bed. So I go and finish up. He said, I didn't finish it first. You know what I'm saying? So I fucking, I come off. I get my due. Next day, you know what I'm saying? He goes to SEG. In prison, that's lockup.
So I'm like, in my heart, I'm like, damn, we through. We done got us a rape case.
But now he doesn't tell the folk that he was raped or had been penetrated or nothing. He tells the people that he was assaulted by some other inmates who he couldn't identify. So they place him in segregation. Me and my partner, we go to the lieutenant who put him in SEG, and we explain the situation as far as he was a member of our gang and we beat him out. And he didn't want to tell them who beat him up because he didn't want to bring our names into anything else. You know what I'm saying? And we explained to him that we felt like it was best that he be out the gang. the lieutenant, he bought it. He got the officer to bring the little white guy over there to the ship office. While me, matter of fact, he called several other bloods up there to verify the story. So he asked him. He said, "Son, is this true? What they're saying?" So he told him. He said, "Yeah," but you could definitely see it in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? That it was something else. But
oh fuck yeah,
his pride or
y'all
whatever.
cream pie the guy. Y'all didn't just whoop his ass.
Let him know that he had been fucked. So the lieutenant said, "Son, I'm gonna let you out of SEG, but I'm not gonna let you out today. I'm gonna let you out Monday." This was on a Friday.
And when he go to lockup, Mark sending him all kind of cigarettes and making sure he got everything he need in lockup, making sure he got his cosmetic, making sure he got something to smoke, making sure he got coffee, making sure he got food, because in lockup you can't have all these things.
So Monday come around, he gets out of SEG. I see him. When I see him, he said he's in the Bible. He wants to live for God. By my grandmother raising me, tried to raise me in a Christian environment. I believe in God. I'm not gonna never go against God. So I told him, I said, "Hey man, I understand that. But in my mind, I truly wanted him to be with me. You know what I'm saying? But I said, if you're gonna live for God, I respect that." And I said, "Hey man."
You see, that's why God punishes his ass. Should have left that dude alone. If that dude was hiding behind the church, who are you to say, nah, you ain't gonna go follow that God? That makes no sense, right? He should have just left that guy alone. But his lust, his deviancy, and the mentality of these characters. Let me see.
And whatever you need, or if you need me or anything, you know what I'm saying, I'll be there for you. Okay, so cool. About a week goes by. He goes and get baptized in the chapel inside the grills and all this and that. He's going to church. So after about 2 weeks go by, I see he slacked up from going to church. He's hanging with other guys that they fuck ass. They smoke dope. He running tattoos. I mean, if you're a Christian person or any type of person of a religion, you know what I'm saying, you don't hang around these type of people. You know what I'm saying, dealing with these type of activities. And the bitch was just fronting to try to get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he wanted to live for God, I could accept that and respect that. You know what I'm saying? But to use God to try to get from up under me and get away from what I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't accept that.
Should have left him
So I
alone.
seen him. He's laying out on the grass by the dormitory. So I call him. I go off on him. I snap on him. Bitch, you know what I'm saying? I know this, I know that. I put everything all on the glass. I let him know about the joint he smoked.
I said it before, man. Hips and Mark were the Johnson and the Bird of the 80s, tag teaming them. You can't even help yourself, Jude. Let alone help another man. If anybody that supports this guy and thinks he ain't do it, they need help themselves. I wouldn't take no kind of advice from any kind of characters. Nothing. Y'all sit back and enjoy the show, man. Just like how we did the Peter Riley on a heavy rotation, we're gonna put this on heavy rotation. Y'all sit back and enjoy it.
Come from me. After that, I say you
get y'all popcorn and candy out.
Be with me.
Kick back.
Or you can go pack your shit and go tell them folks to lock you up. You go back to lock up. So he looks at me. He said, man, I ain't got no problem with being with you. We hook up, you know what I'm saying? Everything was lovey-dovey, you know what I'm saying? Relationship was gravy, all good. I transferred.
You know, I'm always feel bad about, that situation that ever happened. Uh, after I moved on, I told him I was through messing with him, and he got with this other dude.
This is
You know what I'm
Dante
saying? He
right
wound up
here.
having sex with him. He was doing
Dante,
so
man,
bad,
I
never
unblocked you.
having nothing. He wound up selling it to somebody else on the other side of the camp. You know, they have two sides of this prison. So he wound up selling them to another dude, and that dude wound up selling them to another dude.
Go make your IA videos. Make your videos of whatever you want to say about me. It don't bother me. Do whatever you want. I don't reply to them. They don't get me mad. To me, this therapeutical is I get to read these comments, and instead of getting mad, I am able to read them and analyze them and laugh about them, because that's all there are. It's laughable to me. They wish they knew my life. They wish they could be able to harass my loved ones. But to them, I'm on Gilligan's Island. Thank you. Keep on thinking that way. I am. I have nobody. I'm out here by myself. I'm out here, as you can see, I like saying it. I'm out here on Gilligan's Island by myself. Get back to the show, the matinee.
And he just wound up, going down through that because he was with all these different dudes, and these dudes was treating him different. Some of them make him trick, you know what I'm saying? And he was doing different things, and all this what he was going through was a result because nobody messed with him. He's a blood.
He just went crazy. He just went to sleeping with different guys. I mean, just tossing the ass up.
Everything he did after that wasn't his choice. It was the man making the choice for him. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go out here and trick. You're gonna go and make some money. If I don't want you no more, now I'm gonna sell you to him. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't. Everything about his life, when he first came to prison, just changed.
In other words, yeah, you can say I fucked his life up.
Fucked up his life.
If he stayed gone for 5-6 years or whatever, if he ever come back to prison and there's someone in prison that remember him from then, he will always be a boy.
It bothered me at times. So I've even
it's like
wrote him letters.
You live on top of a fucking Chinese restaurant. I don't care if you know what cars or my address. What is that supposed to do? Like, get back to the show, man.
To apologize.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine going to prison over $200 and encountering characters like Mark and JG down your journey? If that wasn't a lesson learned, if Bradley Lucas didn't learn nothing from them 4 years, I'm pretty sure he learned not to be breaking into no newspaper vending machines. $200 interacting with characters like Mark and JG. Over 200. They put him in that